Goeienaand. Good evening, fellow South Africans. And, you know, the video I posted a short while ago about Ramaphosa and his promoting xenophobia is really so on the money. And while Ramaphosa is promoting black-on-black violence, the minor parties are promoting black-on-white violence. And the South African Human Rights Commission is sitting on the side and saying, it's all okay, we don't care. Okay, now, I just want to read to you an article which is very, very related to this. And this is a shout out to Kuz who sent this to me. And it's from an organization in South Africa, and they say, we strongly condemn the recent destructive and violent attacks on foreign nationals in KwaZulu-Natal. The situation has reached a stage where we call on government and leaders to refrain from making utterances that can fuel anger and hate, which, as we see, are resulting in widespread violence. It is reported that locals were acting on the instructions of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Get that? Who warned that there would be a clampdown on illegal businesses owned by foreigners and those who were in the country illegally during the ANC's January the 8th statement. While such statement may not necessarily be true, we do call on political leaders to refrain from a narrative that seeks to propose foreign nationals as the problem in this country, which we view as an unfortunate attempt to divert attention from the real frustrations and genuine challenges faced by communities. We cannot allow a situation where foreign nationals are used as a proxy for political battles. Now, clearly, the big issue is BEE in South Africa. And I'm going to attach to this video a statement made by one of the white politicians in Parliament where he said, get rid of BEE. There should be no racial divide when it comes to employment in South Africa. And he is right on the money. Okay, now getting back to this commentary. We call on the government to condemn these criminal acts and take decisive actions to address the recent criminal actions. KwaZulu-Natal law enforcement agencies to respond decisively, deal with all the acts of criminally associated with such actions and hold those responsible to account. This will help avert the potential for the current situation spiraling out of control and potentially result in all-out xenophobic attacks. Now, this is the great danger, because when you've got one group of people representing one tribe attacking another tribe, and the other tribe says, that's it, we're going to fight back, you have a civil war. And in a cloistered place like Durban, where you've got so many little shanty towns and things like that, there's no way the police, and not even the current South African army, can control that. The country is at a very pivotal point right now. 3, we call on the government to put in place strategies to mitigate the simmering tensions fueled by certain political organizations that have been polarizing society with their xenophobic utterances, i.e. Cyril Ramaphosa. 4, we demand that a thorough investigation of individuals who are implicated in the generation of and disbursement of hateful messages in the media and other platforms, especially political leaders, and that these leaders be taken to task. Not with the South African Human Rights Commission. There's your first joke. Currently, there are violent riots, stone thrown, truck looted and burned, cars being set alight, a situation far from under control with no confirmed arrests. Can you believe it? No one's been arrested? No wonder everything's out of control. The time is now for the government to publicly show their concern for the events as unfolded in KwaZulu-Natal. The time is now for South Africans to accept that we did not achieve this democracy in isolation. Foreign and a number of African countries played a vital role in obtaining freedom in South Africa. And that's quite an interesting point, because let's remember, Ramaphosa hung out in East Africa when it was too dangerous for him to be in South Africa. He was a coward. He never actually came and fought. He just sat up there as one of the leaders of the ANC and made noises. And it was the Africans in East Africa who were providing him that shelter. And now he's actually targeting them. Good friend to have. The home we call South Africa is a benefit of relief granted to South Africans during the struggle for freedom. Now that we have achieved that freedom, we must reflect on the road that led us here. There is a large-scale destruction and looting of foreign-owned shops and locally owned assets. These xenophobic attacks are clearly not only an attack on foreigners, but on South Africans too. And I'd say on the way of life in South Africa. But the trouble is, it doesn't stop there, does it? I mean, the Bantu people attack all minority groups, including their xenophobia against the other Bantus who've come in from the north. They are just a violent, terrible people. Although I have to say there are a large number of locals, black locals, who are appalled by what's going on in South Africa and not party to this. It tends to be the younger people, and it tends to be those who've been indoctrinated in the last 25 years by this corrupt ANC system. And going on to say, the SABC blackout, now remember the SABC TV is the national broadcaster, their blackout of this news is creating a false sense of security. The reality in KwaZulu-Natal is being published via social media platforms like this one here. And local radio stations, people have the right to be informed of occurrences that are impacting their lives. The public is walking into an ambush by not being informed of the uprising of violence. As a national broadcaster, the SABC is mandated. Okay, I'll just repeat that. As a national broadcaster, the SAB is mandated to broadcast out realities. But of course it isn't. It's biased. Lastly, we call on all South Africans to exercise the spirit of Ubuntu. Immigrants must once again feel safe in our country. And that's quite an interesting perspective on what's going on in South Africa. Here comes the video where this fellow says, look, you got to get rid of BEE if you want this country to survive, because BEE is destroying South Africa. Now, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great day.
Achtbare Voorzitter, Honorable President, at Davos you said that South Africa had 9 lost years, referring to your predecessor. But Honorable President, where were you? You became the Deputy President for the ANC in 2012. You became the Deputy President for South Africa in 2014. So where were you? What did you do in 5 to 7 years of this 9 lost years that has cost South Africa dearly and its taxpayers? You, Honorable President, are complicit to the loss of those 9 years, whether you like it or not. Honorable President, what we need in South Africa is to build the economy. We have to create jobs in South Africa. And I want to say it quite frankly and quite clearly to you, there's a simple solution to build the economy of South Africa. And you only have to do two things. Firstly, take race out of the economy.
Honourable House Chair.
Take race out of it.
Honourable Chair.
Honourable Groenewald, please take your seat.
Honourable Chair, I rise on rule number 14.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm requesting that the member must address you and not the President.
Thank you, ma'am. Honourable Groenewald, address the House through the Chair.
House Chairperson.
Please proceed. I'm not the House Chairperson, not Honourable.
Madam Chairperson.
Yes, yes,
I
sir.
also rise on Rule 14.
Yes, sir.
This is a different debate. It is a response to the President's State of the Nation. It is perfectly appropriate to respond to the President.
Honourable Steenhuisen, I have ruled, Honourable Groenewald, you will address the debate through the Chairperson. Please proceed.
Speaker, dis presies wat ek gedoen het, maar soos hulle sê, die waarheid maak seer. The second thing that should be done is to stop expropriation without compensation. If you continue doing that, I can assure you that we are not going to get the economy to grow. We have the Honourable Minister for Public Enterprises now coming in to explain about badly constructed plants for Eskom, and now he's looking for foreign engineers to solve the problem. Chair, through you to the Honourable President, we have enough competent, qualified engineers in South Africa to solve the problem. But because of blackness in the economy, they went to foreign countries. Stop black economic empowerment, because it's nothing else than black elite enrichment. Stop affirmative action if you want to get the economy grow. Chairperson, ek wil ook vir die agbare president sê, u het Suid-Afrika gefaal in u grondwetlike plig van nasiebou in Suid-Afrika. Hoekom sê ek dit? U het 'n guldige geleentheid gehad met u toespraak, want u het verwys na die kinders wat in put toilette verdrink het en 'n student wat geskiet is, wat tragies is. Maar u het nie verwys na die tragedie van die hoërskool Driehoek in Vanderbijlpark, waar 4 leerlinge gesterf het as gevolg van gebrekkige infrastruktuur by 'n staatsskool. 'n Gemeenskap wat in rou is. Ek wil verder gaan om vir u te sê, u moet dalk 'n gesprek met u minister van Finansies voer, want hy is op rekord toe die Universiteit van Pretoria besluit het dat Engels die enigste voertaal gaan wees, waar hy gesê het, we will regret it in 30 years. You will learn from your Honourable of Finance. Verder, agbare voorsitter, wil ek vir die president sê, u het op Radio 702 na die rassistiese uitsprake deur die BLF in Potchefstroom en haatspraak teen wites uitgespreek het. Wat sê u? U kom nie op nie. U kom nie u plig na nie. U sê, ag, dis maar nie 'n algemene standpunt nie. En wites, daar's nog te veel wites wat rassisties is in Suid-Afrika. Dit is nie nasiebou nie, dit is polarisering. U het ook verwys en gesê, ons sal verbaas wees om te sien hoeveel jong swart mense, en soos u dit uitgedruk het, about the lackadaisical attitude of whites in the economy. May I say to you, Honourable President, you will be surprised about the anger of black people against the lackadaisical attitude of black business people who became millionaires and billionaires because of BEE. But I want to say to the people of South Africa, daar is hoop. Op 8 Mei het u 'n geleentheid. Die Vryheidsfront Plus is die politieke party wat die balans kan terugbring in 'n verantwoordelike regering. Want dit is wat Suid-Afrika nodig het, 'n verantwoordelike regering. En daarom sê ek vandag, die Vryheidsfront Plus is die alternatief om 'n magsbalans te kry. Honourable President, we will fight back.